Hi everyone and welcome back to English for You. I'm Pat.
And I'm Ben.
So yesterday we met Danielle who was going to quit her job and she did what she should do. The first thing was she went to talk to Mr. Garrison, her boss. So why is she quitting?
Now she's quitting her job because she has been offered a better one. Now right now she is just a clerk, but she'll become the manager for the sales department of a furniture company.
Okay, so it's a pretty cool job. And of course, once she's got that offer, she knows it's a job she couldn't turn down.
Yes,
she has to do it.
And as we discussed last time, that she wants to further advance her career. So it's a good move for her to keep getting a better job and responsibility.
Exactly, and Mr. Garrison, her boss, is pleased for her. He's not angry, he's maybe a little sad, but he knows it's a good career move, so he just says, I'm happy for you, I completely understand.
And Danielle is going to leave after 1 month, and it was good because she notified her boss. She told them that, hey, she's going to leave in about a month, so she's not going to leave just the next day or something, so that everyone knows about her situation.
Exactly. Now she's also agreed to help train her replacement. Before she leaves, someone will come in and take her job, and Danielle will help to train her, make sure she knows what to do. She's got to do something else, though.
Exactly, that is right. Danielle also needs to write a formal letter to HR to let them know when she's leaving. Exactly.
And today we are going to read that letter to find out how she writes it, what she puts in it, and we'll also look at some of the language she uses because this is a bit more of a formal letter, so she has to write it in the correct way.
Exactly.
Let's read through the article then.
Reading.
The Letter of Resignation.
December 16, 2019. To Carol Connors, Department, Human Resources, HR. Dear Ms. Connors, I am writing to notify you that I will resign from my position on January 17, 2020. I have enjoyed working for AMC Corporation for the past 2 years. I have learned much about the industry in my clerical position here. However, I have been offered an opportunity that will help advance my career. I will be the senior sales supervisor at a furniture company. This is a senior role with more responsibility. I did not want to decline this job when it was offered to me. I have already spoken with my manager, Mr. Garrison. We have made arrangements for my departure. He will hire a new employee whom I will train. I will make sure I don't neglect my job while I am training the new person. I would like to thank you and the entire team at AMC Corporation for making my job here a good experience. I wish you all the best. Yours sincerely, Danielle Myers.
Okay, so the article is in the form of a letter, and if you're doing a formal letter, you kind of have to put the important stuff at the top. So we have the date, December 16th, 2019. We have the person who it's to, Carol Connors. We have the department, Human Resources, HR, which is who we talked about yesterday. They deal with hiring, people leaving, all the human stuff. And then there's the kind of correct address, Dear Ms. Connors. So this is how we need to start a formal letter. We use Ms. because we don't want to necessarily say Miss or Mrs.
More formal,
Exactly. We don't say Dear Carol because this is a formal letter and maybe they don't know each other too well.
Work environment,
Exactly. And we've got the right kind of details named to that person's department and a very polite way to start this letter. And of course this is for human resources, so this is the department that you need to talk to about all of this kind of stuff. And that's it basically. That's how you start a formal letter. So it's a good thing to look at and learn from. So then she gets into the actual details.
Exactly. So as we go to the article, she says, I am writing to notify you that I will resign from my position on January 17th, 2020. So that's good. There's a lot of time so the whole company knows, and that Danielle knows that she'll still stay there a little longer to help out. Now this brings us to notify. This means to announce or to tell something to someone. Now notify is more formal and is used in a more serious manner than tell. So for example, we can notify our boss that we are quitting, or that we'll be either sick or out of town for something important. Now it's often used to tell someone who is in charge of a company, like your boss, Yeah, or a manager.
Exactly, and they could notify you of something as well.
Exactly, something important. You can notify someone by face-to-face or just type a letter. Yeah, something really formal document. So for an example, we could say, I had to notify my company that I couldn't work October 19th as I will attend my sister's wedding. So it's something for a bigger event, something really important that you can't go. That's why you notify something.
Exactly. Now we saw the phrasal verb let somebody know something yesterday. Notify is, like Ben said, the more formal version that you would put in this kind of letter. Okay, now in that sentence, she also said that she was going to resign. Resign is a verb and it's to formally leave a job. The noun form is the word resignation, which you'll see in the title of today's article, because this is a letter of resignation. Now we talked about quit yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Quit as in leave something or stop doing something. So Ben mentioned you could stop doing like bad habits, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
You meant what was some you mentioned?
You can quit biting your nails, you can quit smoking,
Exactly.
You can quit going to sleep in class, or there's many bad habits.
Exactly. But you wouldn't say you resign from those things.
That's a good difference. Yeah, resign is something to just leave and notify someone else that you're not going to be there or take part in action anymore. While quitting is just more abruptly, all of a sudden, just stopping something.
Exactly. You might say you quit a band or you might quit a bad relationship or something like that, quit doing stuff. But resign, it's the formal word used to mean leaving a job. And as we see here, you kind of always have to do it in writing, even if it's just an email, as well as by telling somebody, hey, I'm leaving. So that's the difference between quit and resign. Resign is a formal word and it really only applies to jobs. Here's an example sentence. Jeff resigned from his job in order to care for his sick wife.
All right, so as we go to the article, Danielle says, I've enjoyed working for AMC Corporation for the past 2 years. Now, a corporation is like a big business. Now, it's a very big business that we know, like big brands such as McDonald's or Apple. Now, a corporation is something that can be very worldwide in many different locations or countries. So it's a structure of business with many people involved to help it run. Now, oftentimes a corporation can have a lot of different kind of people layers of he's the manager in maybe Mexico or the United States, very globally. And as the name more familiar is that more people know and recognize the brand or the logo of a company like 7-Eleven and just big companies all over the world. So for example, an example sentence we could say, the corporation had locations in 10 different countries. It's widely known.
Okay, so yesterday where we used the word company, now we're using corporation. So similar meanings, but as Ben said, corporation is much bigger, kind of much more involved with the different levels. Okay, so Danielle continues and says, I have learned much about the industry in my clerical position here. Now, yesterday we talked about a clerk, okay, someone in an office doing office jobs. The adjective form of clerk is clerical, and it's related to those kind of jobs. If we talk about a clerical job or clerical position, we mean office jobs and the same kind of things, writing reports, emails, keeping an eye on paperwork, managing an account, all sorts of general office work and paperwork. Here's an example sentence. One problem with my clerical job is that it involves too much sitting down.
That is a problem. I often see people just sitting down all day and they have back problems too.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, that's a tough one to get better
So
from.
she talks about a clerical position. What do we mean by position?
Now, for position, we mean a role that a person plays. Now, it could be used in the office, such as a manager or assistant. Now, position lets you know what you have to do, what your day-to-day responsibilities are. So, for example, the position of manager will be to make sure that a store runs well day to day, make sure everyone is doing their job and the customers are happy. While the position of the janitor is to mainly clean the place up and make this place nice for everyone. Now, for an example sentence, we could say, I got offered the position of sales clerk. So every day I will get to help out customers with their purchases and collect the money.
Okay, so that's how we combine clerical position. It's kind of like a more formal way of saying clerk from day one. Okay, so Danielle has been very complimentary. She said nice things. She's saying thank you. I like working here. I've appreciated it. But then she moves on to the reason for leaving and says, however, I have been offered an opportunity that will help advance my career. The word opportunity means a chance to do something, and we often use it to mean a chance to make progress, to go forward, to improve.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, we're talking about kind of going further with your career. This is an opportunity. We don't say it's a bad opportunity or an opportunity to do something small. Opportunities are always things like, oh, if I do this, I get something out of it. Maybe I have more things in the future, or I will learn or gain from the experience, like the opportunity to study abroad.
Yeah, just going the right direction. That'll make your future better than it is now. Yeah.
So it's a good chance to get something and enjoy that situation.
Exactly. Now that brings us to the word advance. Now advance is used similar to further. However, it could be something that will go further a bit faster, to advance something a little quicker than something else might be. So for example, working 2 jobs can advance one's work experience. You could have a job from the afternoon, then a job at night. You can learn more faster and maybe advance further in a year or 2 than if you stay at the same job, which could be maybe just 3 or 4 years if you only had 1. So 2 jobs can maybe advance your career quicker. Or getting an education like a business degree, MBA, college. These can help, education can help advance your career and get more titles, more job titles. Everyone knows your education is very important, so you can kind of lean into that. So for example, he advanced a grade in school after all of his good grades.
Yep, that would be going to the next grade. So of course, Danielle wants to advance her career by becoming a manager, or as she puts it here, I will be the senior sales supervisor at a furniture company. So the word senior can mean older in years. So my brother is 2 years senior to me, means he's 2 years older. However, in an office, we use the word senior to describe someone who is higher up in the company. They have more experience, more qualifications, and so on. So you could have a manager, but also a senior manager who is in charge of the first manager. Here's an example. My boss reports to the senior manager for the marketing department. So here we're saying it's a senior supervisor.
Yeah, exactly. Now supervisor, this word means this is the person who looks over you. Now many times it is your boss or manager. Now this is the one who makes sure you are doing your job correctly and you can ask questions to. So the person that you look up to and ask questions to make sure you're doing your job right. So for example, my supervisor corrected me on some things I was doing wrong at work.
So it's kind of the last job, or in yesterday we said she's becoming a manager. Here we're saying senior supervisor.
Yeah.
It means broadly the same thing. And Danielle adds, this is a senior role, so there's that use of the adjective again, with more responsibility. And of course that's why she's doing it. She wants this job, it's got more responsibility, which is good for her experience, and kind of we realize it's going to mean more money as well.
Exactly, it'll advance her career. So anyway, the article says, well, I did not want to decline this job when it was offered to me. It was too good of a job that she could not turn it down. So anyway, this brings us to decline, which means to turn something down or to reject something. Now, oftentimes we can decline an invitation to a birthday party or an event. It's a more polite way of saying no. Yeah. So in our example sentence, we can say, I declined the invitation to the New Year's party as I had to travel out of the country. So it's a little more formal to let the other person know that you have something else or something important at the same time.
Yeah, so you've got turn down, you've got decline, the two words from yesterday's article and today's. Decline is probably a little bit more formal, we would say.
Yeah, I would say so, yeah.
Okay, so Danielle goes on, and so she's explained the reasons why she's quit. She's now sort of moving on to the what happens next part, and she mentions, I have already spoken with my manager, Mr. Garrison. It's important to put that in the letter because otherwise HR will reply back and say, have you talked to your manager? Has this kind of been agreed? Does everybody know what's going on? So by writing it, she's making it clear, yes, I've done this bit, and everybody knows, or he knows, importantly, the situation.
That's right. Everyone is in the loop, so we're all connected here. So anyway, the article says, we have made arrangements for my departure. So they're all prepared for that. Now the article says departure, and departure means to leave. Now one can leave for a variety of reasons, such as not liking one's job or getting fired. But altogether, this means that one does not or will not work there anymore. So for an example sentence, we can say, his departure is set for next month, as he will take some time off to take care of his baby.
So this is kind of covering that notice period again. Remember yesterday we mentioned giving notice that you will leave, saying I will leave in a month, in 2 weeks, something like that. And so Danielle's saying we've kind of agreed a month. She also says he, that's Mr. Garrison, her boss, he will hire a new employee whom I will train. So here the word employee is a worker. It's someone who has been hired to do a job. So you've got employer who hires and the employee who is hired.
Yep, the employee works for the employer. So yeah, that's how it works. Now back to the article, we will say, I will make sure I don't neglect my job while I am training the new person, which is very important because the new person has to know what skills you bring to the table so you can help them with the job as well. Now, neglect means to put little or no care into something. Now, oftentimes neglect is used as not paying attention to something as well. For example, someone could neglect to do their homework on the weekend or walk their dog. So kind of avoiding something that they don't really want to do, or they might forget to do something, they neglect it.
Yep, so she's saying I won't neglect my work. Same as yesterday when she's saying I'll keep working hard. Here she's saying I'm not going to neglect my duties. I won't just kind of go like, I'm leaving next month. I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if I don't finish it. Somebody else will take over that responsibility.
Putting no care into something, just leaving.
Yep, so she's trying to, again, make sure she keeps a good relationship and promising that she won't sort of just, as Ben used yesterday, slack off and let things kind of carry on. So she starts to finish the article here with another bit of good relationship building. She says, I would like to thank you and the entire team at AMC Corporation for making my job here a good experience. So once again, she's being very nice. She's making sure everything sounds good and making sure that the HR appreciate her. She appreciates HR, and she's not quitting because of a bad reason.
Exactly. She leaves on a good impression, so everyone still thinks good of her while she leaves to her next company. So this brings us back to the article where she says, I wish you all the best. So it's a good last remark, so everyone knows, we're leaving on good terms.
Yep, and she finishes by saying, yours sincerely, Danielle Myers. Now we use this phrase, yours sincerely. This is called a sign-off or a signature on an email. And it's one, if you know the person's name and you put that at the top, you can put yours sincerely at the bottom. It's kind of paired up like that. And it sounds kind of old-fashioned, yours sincerely, but it just means like I am being honest, I am being polite, and I have good wishes for you. It's just kind of what people write at the bottom of letters.
More formal,
people have been doing that for a long time. Now, if you're writing a letter or an email, if it's very formal, you would use yours sincerely. I think a lot of people, if it's just around at work, we often write things like regards.
Yeah, regards.
Kind regards,
exactly.
Best wishes, things like that. And if you're getting more friendly with the people you're emailing, you maybe change that to like cheers.
Exactly.
All sorts of ways to sign off.
Yeah.
But yours sincerely is kind of the more formal one you would use in this kind of letter.
A little more professional for a work environment.
Professional is a great word to kind of describe how she is doing this whole letter. We're going to talk about that now in today's For You Chat question.
For You Chat.
So the question relates to a lot of what we've been saying both yesterday and today. It is, why do you think Danielle wrote the letter in a polite way? Why didn't she just write a short note that says, I'm quitting my job?
That's good. Yeah, why do you think, Pat? What's your reasoning as to why she said that?
Well, the word you used just before we went to the chat question was professional. Yes, if Danielle is employed by a company, she will behave professionally. She will show that this is a job situation that she respects, and she expects to be respected by them in turn. So if she wants for them to respect her, then of course she's got to go the other way and respect them with this polite letter, including all the formal language. Like, what would have happened if she'd written a short note just saying, I'm quitting?
Yeah, it kind of just shows a lack of respect for the job. Kind of says, I was just here to work, but I really don't care too much about this job, and so it's bye-bye.
What would the consequences of doing that be?
You know what? A big consequence would be this, that she goes to her next job. Well, when she interviews for her next job.
Well, she's already been offered the job.
She's been offered
she's offered the job. But still, why would you not just I'm quitting?
That's true. Well, you'll kind of leave on a bad remark, because if she advances her career and keeps on going to different jobs, they might call back to her old job, this job, and they'll ask her, well, how was Danielle? Was she a good worker? Or what do you think? And they'll say, well, she didn't leave on the best of terms. She kind of left abruptly, and it wasn't a good feel when she left. So they're not going to say, they might not say good things about her.
Exactly. Yeah, this kind of thing does go on record. And if she says, please contact this guy, Mr. Garrison, about my time. If he says, well, she just kind of left like that, didn't really do a proper job of it, then she might not get hired in the future because somebody's not sure about her. There are other things. If HR, if they're being professional, would make sure all the paperwork is done properly, anything is, money is transferred. But if she's been disrespectful and not officially handed in her notice, then maybe they won't be completely professional with her in terms of sorting things out. They might delay things. They might go, sorry, this isn't a formal letter saying you resigned. So as far as we're concerned, you haven't resigned. You've just written this kind of short note. We've never had a conversation about it. If you don't turn up to work, we'll kind of fine you.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
A lot of things could go wrong there if you don't do it in a polite way.
It'll be too messy for the company too. So it's definitely important to give your letter of resignation for at least 2 to 4 weeks, so the company helps them as well to find the replacement. And everyone gets situated. Everyone is good. You find your next job and the company stays good as well. So it's definitely more important to show your care for the company, be professional, which is always important, so that everyone knows that you did a good job and you left on the right terms.
Yep, it's all about being professional in your relationships. All right, that is the end of our TOEIC unit for this month. Thanks for watching, everybody. For English for You, I'm Pat.
And I'm Ben.
Talk to you next time. Bye. The Letter of Resignation.
December 16, 2019. To Carol Connors, Department, Human Resources, HR. Dear Ms. Connors, I am writing to notify you that I will resign from my position on January 17, 2020. I have enjoyed working for AMC Corporation for the past 2 years. I have learned much about the industry in my clerical position here. However, I have been offered an opportunity that will help advance my career. I will be the senior sales supervisor at a furniture company. This is a senior role with more responsibility. I did not want to decline this job when it was offered to me. I have already spoken with my manager, Mr. Garrison. We have made arrangements for my departure. He will hire a new employee whom I will train. I will make sure I don't neglect my job while I am training the new person. I would like to thank you and the entire team at AMC Corporation for making my job here a good experience. I wish you all the best. Yours sincerely, Danielle Myers.
Vocabulary Review.
Corporation. Taiwan is home to several large corporations, including Acer and HTC. Resign. The mayor resigned from his position when he realized he had lost the people's support. Senior supervisor. After 7 years at the firm, Mary became the senior legal supervisor. Advance. Troy was a capable employee and advanced quickly through the company. Decline. A large U.S. company wanted to buy Benson's business, but he declined their offer. Clerical position. Kyle held several clerical positions at large banking companies in his early 20s. Notify. When Susanna realized she was going to be 30 minutes late to work, she notified her boss.
智慧小补帖
Departure. Neglect.
以上节目是由活用空中美语制作。活用空中美语杂志，请洽询全国各大书店。如欲索取试听教材，请来电02-2364-4000 02-2364-4000，或上网查询，网址是 www.english4u.net www.english4u.net